Is this the driver that gets Cobra back on top in 2024 when it comes to driver sales? Introducing the brand new Cobra Dark Speed driver, and what a better place to test this driver than here in the dark at Sharjah Golf Club. Now for me, I think Cobra have been a little bit hit and miss in the last few years when it's come to their driver releases, and I've put this driver massively through its paces over the last week on lots of different golf courses, on different holes that need different quality tee shots. Also in this video, we are going to test here in the studio a couple of the different versions of the new Cobra Dark Speed. You can see we have the LS version and the X version. Both of these things are stealthed out. Both of these clubs feature a ton of carbon, or very little amount of carbon. Lots of carbon, but not a lot of weight of carbon. Also, lots of adjustable weighting on here. These things have been said to rival the best ball speeds ever found on some of the bigger golf forums. So I can't wait to show you guys not only how it performs out on the golf course on some of the world's most difficult tee shots, but also in here in the studio, because we also have a small matter of last year's Cobra Aerojet driver, which I personally quite enjoyed. So that will go head to head against this year's brand new Dark Speed LS driver. Very similar, but you can see we do have another weight in the back there of the LS, so even more adjustability and potentially even more forgiveness on a low spin driver, because who doesn't want that? Look, I can't get over how good this head shape looks. It looks incredible. And really the big question for Cobra here is, are they getting back to their heyday? Are they getting back to prominence like they were when they released the F9 driver? The F9 driver blew everyone out of the water, and as soon as I took this out of the wrapper and the head cover off, I loved the stealth-like appeal, but is it going to have the shelf appeal that people want? I've tested this within an inch of its life. I've been on loads of different golf courses hitting it, and for me, I do certainly feel like it's not going to be the most forgiving driver, but then we do have the standard Cobra Dark Speed driver for that. This, of course, is the Dark Speed LS, the low spin model. And with ball flights like that, I think so far, you might be quite impressed with this. This is the LS version. There are 3 versions in the range. We're going to discuss all of them today, but for me, I want to kick this video off by showing you this, because I've already played a full round of golf with this driver, and I must say, you will not believe some of the shots you can get with it. I'm really impressed with the speed I'm generating, really impressed with the forgiveness element of it. I've had to check that my ball is actually my ball numerous times today, pretty much because it's gone a lot further than I anticipated it would from the strike that I've been getting. In today's video, we're going to talk numbers, we're going to talk just how potentially it could find its way into your bag, and we're going to talk tech, because what is in here could well surprise a lot of people and might be the driver to beat in 2024, on top of, dare we say, the new Taylormade and the new Callaway. I want to hit a couple more because I'm actually really enjoying this driver as well, and it's okay to say that a new driver has to perform well. It obviously has to have good ball speed, good spin rate and good numbers, but you also have to enjoy it. It has to feel nice. It has to have a certain enjoyment factor to it, and I love this LS head shape. It's more aerodynamic supposedly, but for me the aerodynamics aren't as important as how it looks down at address, because if a driver doesn't look great at address for you, generally you're not going to be confident, you're not going to fancy it. It almost looks Paradym-esque. You can see that carbon top, you can see the weights in the bottom that are movable, and this driver does feature a little bit of a fade bias, which I particularly really enjoy. Let's see if we can hit the fairway 3 times here with the new Cobra Dark Speed LS driver. Dark Speed, what do we think to the name? The name could be quite interesting to a lot of you. It's obviously a very stealthed out black look. Now, the Cobra F9 was the driver that put Cobra up here when it came to driver releases. We all know that. It was a little bit cheaper than the other drivers at the time, and it performed incredibly. The yellow and red bottom was a huge shelf appeal factor. Is this going to struggle being just black? I'm not sure if a lot of people will really like it. I'm not sure if it'll capture people's imaginations as much, but when they start to try them and they just feel how these actually feel and sound so much better than last year's Cobra model, that's why I wanted to say that I feel like Cobra are back. That one's just started left and faded back nicely. Guys, let's get down there, let's see exactly where they are, and also let's see how it got on one of the hardest driving holes in the world for me, with water all the way down that left hand side. So guys, as you can see, we have one in the semi-rough. That last one did actually finish in the rough up on the left, but that is a long way down this first hole, and the best shot was the middle shot, which is round the corner over there in the fairway. So when I got my first impressions of this driver, first impressions are a big thing at the moment when you do pick a driver off the shelf, and I wanted to film my first impressions and my very first hit with this driver, and this is what I found. And one of the first things you do get when looking at this Cobra driver is that sense of a stealth-like appearance. It's matte black on top, it's all black on the bottom, there's not 1 ounce of colour on this driver, and I quite like that, although for me, Cobra do generally go with bold yellows, bold reds. For them to go all black is a little bit away from what they're used to, but then if it performs, this is my first time looking down at this driver, and it looks so good. It's almost like a bit of a tier shape, but you can see how it narrows up at the back. It's a smaller looking head, so the lower handicappers are going to really enjoy this, but this is one of the hardest driving holes for me in the world. Can I get up that fairway? Straight away for me there, that's a nice safe shot, started at the middle, finishing just up the right hand side. Felt really nice, felt really firm, felt like, I mean, look where it came out of. Felt like it came bang smack out the middle, and with this black head, you can see a little bit of feedback from that tee. So they were my very first impressions of this Cobra Dark Speed. Like I said, the name, maybe I will grow on the name. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, but I'm a huge fan of how it looks. I'm a huge fan of the head cover, actually. The head cover feels really, really premium and obviously all blacked out. Now, before we talk numbers for this driver and the rest of the Cobra Dark Speed range, let's talk tech and see exactly what makes this driver tick and why potentially it could be up there for ball speed this year with the latest and greatest drivers that might well be costing you a fortune. And it's actually really interesting because there's a few stories within this Cobra Dark Speed driver tech-wise that we have all heard of before. It's nothing new, but compounded together, it could prove to be a fantastic driver for 2024. And the tech in it involves that refined aerodynamic shape, which I've already mentioned, and I absolutely love. That has a higher crown, a raised skirt, and reduced club face surface area to maximise speed. That's a taut-inspired shaping. It also features a larger power shell with, get this, AI designed hot face. So it's a 10% larger power shell L cup that creates a more robust design, while the AI designed hot face delivers more efficient speed and spin from across the club face, which would be resounding with me because I've certainly found that when I've been testing this driver out here on lots of different golf courses. I really enjoyed the forgiveness of it, and I really enjoyed how far it's been going even when I've maybe hit it out the toe and the heel. These drivers are designed for maximum workability, but you still don't lose out on that forgiveness, which I think is a fantastic touch from Cobra. And for me, what they've done amazingly well is with this aerodynamic shape, they've matched this with all the sensors that you want to tick. Yes, visually it looks good, audio, it sounds good, it feels good. What else, apart from it smelling good, what else do you want? Let's see if we can turn one over here a bit. It really does feel easier to hit than the last model, but you also feel like you're getting a little bit more feedback. You feel like you're getting a little bit lower spin, a little bit higher launch, a little bit, dare I say, more ball speed than previous Cobra drivers. I'm really pleased Cobra have done this because I like Cobra. I like what they stand for. I always have done since the F9. The F9 was the driver, it was the people's driver, wasn't it? Could this be the 2024 people's driver? Can we match that shot? How consistent can we be? The head is so good looking. I've really gone after that one, and that is fading lovely down the right side of the fairway. Right, we've spoken tech, we've seen the first opinions, we've hit loads and loads of shots with this, we've played a round of golf with it. Just how does it perform in the studio? Let's jump on the Golf Sun Simulator, let's see what ball speed we can get, what spin rate we're getting, and also what distance we can get with this brand new 2024 Cobra Dark Speed driver. So when I got to hit this driver in the studio, the first thing I thought was just how good it sounded, and also how it felt like it was coming off really fiery, a lot more fiery than last year's model. But how would this driver compare to last year's Aerojet? And the comparison of these two drivers is very interesting. Two totally different looking clubs from last year to this year, and I think it might split opinion, because if you really enjoyed that carbon look on top, that kind of gloss looking carbon on the Aerojet, I still don't know the name of that, Aerojet. It was a terrible name, wasn't it? Reminds me of Top Gun. I've got no idea why. But if you really enjoyed that look, if you really enjoyed that colour scheme, then you may not be overly bothered by this new matte look on top. I really like that. It's Ping-esque, it's PXG-esque, and for me, it's just a little bit more classy. Now, I have mentioned outside that I'm not sure if this will be the driver that brings Cobra back to their heyday of the F9. The F9 obviously had lots of yellow, lots of red, lots of different colours on it. So this is a little bit of a different option from Cobra, but I think this represents a kind of new era for Cobra, but I also think it might well be the era that a lot of people move into it and give it a go, instead of opting for the Callaways, the Taylormades, the Titleists and the Pings of the year. And that's the shot that I think a lot of people will be wanting. A lovely low spinning knuckleball fade straight down the middle of that fairway at 280 yards. I must say, I've focused very heavily on the LS version. That's going to be the version for me that I get the best spin rate with, the best launch with, and probably the best ball speed with as well. Ball speed is proving to be very interesting in this test, so make sure you do all stay tuned. But also, don't sleep on the Dark Speed X model. You can see here, it has a little bit more weighting further back, and for me, I really enjoy the fact that you can move this weighting around and still give yourself almost a low spin driver, but with a slightly bigger looking head and something that looks a little bit more pleasing on the eye for people who want that extra little bit of confidence and inspiration. And one of the huge things that the guys at Cobra said to me when they sent me these drivers was, James, we know that the LS will be the model for you. We know that you'll probably enjoy the ball flights most, but do not sleep on the X version because you may well find it really impressive. Dark Speed X, pitching at 276, running all the way up to just shy of 300. That isn't the low spin version, that is the X version. Do not sleep on the Dark Speed X. Guys, let's talk numbers for the Dark Speed LS, the Dark Speed X, and of course last year's Aerojet to see exactly what the big differences are. And as we get to all the numbers, you can see a 162 average for me with the Dark Speed LS, incredible ball speed numbers, a really nice spin rate window of around 2,200-ish, and a really nice carry distance. I've hit all these shots really, really well, to be fair, and I found that the Dark Speed X was maybe a little bit more inconsistent for me, but I could get it out there when I returned the perfect dynamic loft. And the Aerojet LS, you can see actually 3 mile/h ball speed difference. That's a big gain, and for me, I felt like I hit these pretty consistently. 5-yard difference in carry. Really impressive. So guys, there you go. The numbers do not let this down. If you are in the market for a new driver in 2024, I think the Cobra Dark Speed has to be up there as one you are going to try, especially if you do want a lovely low spin driver like this LS head that I've, to be honest, fallen frankly in love with. I know it's a busy time at the moment. I know there's lots of driver releases coming. If I were you, I would wait. I know, very difficult. Hang fire, try them all, go get fitted, try different shafts, try different heads, try the weights in different positions, and then you will get the perfect driver for you in 2024.